Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today's November 7th, and check it out on the Oregon coast, Gold Beach, Oregon. Look at this water spout. What a beautiful shot this is. Waves in the foreground, water spout kicking up water as it moves across the area there. What a glorious shot. Again, Gold Beach, Oregon. We mentioned this in yesterday's forecast that I would not be surprised if we had a water spout report on the Oregon coast, and sure enough, it came to fruition. Credit to Jose Delanoy there in Gold Beach, Oregon, and Holden LaCroix for letting me use this footage yesterday. Very nice scene. And you can see the thunderstorm activity kind of coming to an end here. We had some lightning strikes still as we went through this morning. It looks like it's coming to an end. Precipitation residual across from the higher terrain kicking off to the east. Some gusty winds across the area as well. But we are going to get a break for a bit here until we get the next storm system off across the Pacific Ocean. You can see it out over here rolling our way. And that should be moving in on the day Thursday. We'll look at those details. And then we'll look at an active extended potentially here as we got the storm track diving down across the west coast here, and we'll look at that in a moment. This is the subscriber count. Check it out. We're doing pretty well here for the channel, getting up towards 53,000 subscribers, and you guys make this channel possible. All my subscribers and members out there, keep it up. Keep coming back, checking into view here. You guys make everything here possible. Check it out on Spokane. Gusty winds today. Watch out for the east slopes of the Cascades. Gusting up towards 45 miles per hour there. I-90, Ellensburg, Ritzville. Watch out. Interstate 82 going back and forth, Yakima down towards Pasco there as well. Gusty winds, so heads up for that. I'll show you the weather model on that here in a moment. Take a look at this nice affordable home weather station. If you click on that link down below, you can save 10% off. All solar powered and wireless, no batteries, great smartphone app. Highly recommend that station. This is looking at the high resolution rapid refresh here. This is this morning's run, and you can see the gusty winds as we get through this afternoon down the Strait of Georgia, Strait of Juan de Fuca. Strong onshore flow here, and yeah, gusty winds down the east slopes of the Cascades across eastern Washington as we go through this evening as well, before that gradient finally relaxes as we head on into Wednesday morning. And if you look at the very end of the run here, you can see the southerlies start to return as we go through Thursday morning in advance of the next system. And you can see the wind shift back to the east here as the winds start getting pulled through the gap out to the low pressure over the ocean. Now, looking at this is the European, the control run here. This is the system that came across Pacific Northwest, brought some thunderstorm activity and the water spout and the heavy rainfall for some areas finally kicking down across the region. We build a ridge temporarily, at least, before the next system rolls through on the day Thursday there, and then we start to really get active again. Atmospheric river potential here, and it's going to depend largely on just how far south this storm track drops, but it will be swinging precipitation regardless up across Pacific Northwest. And once we're on the north side of this low pressure system down here, we could start to build some snowpack across Pacific Northwest as well. We'll take a look at that in a moment also. Now, taking a look at last night's European model run here, you can see the precipitation coming to an end as we go through the day today. Fairly nice dry day Wednesday for the most part, relatively speaking, here for November anyway. But then you can see the next system rolling in here as we go through the day Thursday. And by Thursday afternoon, it'll be coming on the coastline, BC here, Vancouver Island. And by the nighttime here, you can see it coming over western Washington, Oregon. Residual showers on in through the day Friday here. And then not much of a break before the next set of systems start to roll into the Pacific Northwest. Almost an atmospheric river feature here setting up here. And some pretty good precipitation amounts incoming here as we go through the weekend on in through early next week here. But still some model disagreement on just how these storms are going to come into the West Coast. Some of them showing them diving pretty far south down into California. But on the flip side, the farther south they move here, we might get some moisture back over the top and be on the cooler side of some of these storms as well, and even start to get some snow across some of the Cascades, Washington, Oregon, and of course eastern portions, British Columbia here as well. We'll take a look at that in a moment. Look at Seattle here on the ensemble members as we go through November 21st. You can see the control about 2.2 more inches here over the next 2 weeks or so, but some of the ensemble members are quite a bit higher there, and the mean is right around 3 inches. We've already got a lot of precipitation so far in November, and we got more coming here. People taking a look at Brookings, Oregon. Look at some of these ensemble members. They're up over 8-10 inches here on a few of them. The control run about 7 inches as the storm drives down across much of the West Coast. Atmospheric river potential all the way from Washington down towards California here. Some gusty winds. Yeah, crazy stuff incoming here over the next week or so. Astoria, Oregon, also with some big precipitation total showing up in some of these ensembles. Look at the ensemble mean at 5.3 inches here over the next 2 weeks on top of what we've already gotten. This is Bellingham. Not bad here, but you can kind of see how the storm track is pointed a little bit further south of this upcoming round on recent model runs anyway. Now let's take a look at the 12Z GFS here and see what it has to say. This is hot off the presses, rolling as we speak. You can see this trough that brought us our crazy weather here across the Pacific Northwest. Thunderstorm activity, heavy rain, water spout off the Oregon coast. You can see that system driving through California. Ridge builds over the Pacific Northwest. We get a bit of a break here until Thursday. The clouds will start increasing. Then the rainfall starts as we go through the afternoon and evening on Thursday. Moves through the Pacific Northwest. Residual showers as we go through the day Friday. Tiny bit of a break before the next systems arrive into the Pacific Northwest, and additional precipitation, potentially atmospheric river here as this trough is digging off the coastline here. So interesting weather continues to roll into the Pacific Northwest, and this is actually a pretty sinister looking picture here for portions of California too as well. But this will no doubt be spreading precipitation back up over the Pacific Northwest, even some mountain snows, which we'll look at here in a moment. So yeah, active weather continuing through November. Let's take a brief look at what this means as far as precipitation and the 6-hour precipitation totals here and mean civil pressure on the GFS 12Z that is running this morning. That means it started running at about 4 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. But you can see the frontal system as it rolls in through the day Thursday there, then the residual showers, and then not much of a break here before we get some additional precipitation rounds rolling through the Pacific Northwest, atmospheric river potential, strong storm off the Oregon, Northern California coastline has been showing in some of the model runs, spreading precipitation back up over the region here. Pretty nasty storm for California on this morning's GFS here too. I'm kind of checking this out for the first time along with you guys. But yeah, interesting stuff here, folks, as we continue to remain active through November. And I've sped this all the way out towards hour 300 in the GFS, and you can see some pretty interesting totals starting to show up for the BC and Washington Cascades. If some of these low pressure systems are further south, we could be in the colder air here, and we might get some interesting mountain snows here. But it might not last too long here, depending on how the atmospheric rivers come back in towards later November. A warm atmospheric river can really bring the sea level, not the sea level, the snow level up across a lot of the region here. So we got to watch out for that as well. But you can see not a bad start here, especially across some of western BC and the higher terrain of eastern BC, some of the Bitterroot Mountains, Rocky Mountains, and the Cascades of Washington. We'll break those details down as we get closer to the systems. And check it out. This is this landslide threshold here, and SeaTac has actually exceeded this. So some of the central and southern sounds, watch out for some of the hillier areas out there. We've seen some buckling in the roads recently, too, with all this precipitation we've got the last few days. Take a look here at 6 to 10 day, mostly near normal, kind of that below average signal here if these storms dig far enough down off the coastline. This goes through November 16th. And, of course, the above average signal across much of the West Coast would include British Columbia as well. And we need it. Vegetation drought response index. A lot of places under pre-drought stress, moderate drought, severe, or extreme drought out there. So, we kind of need prolonged precipitation to really help the vegetation across the area. The problem is we're bringing a lot at once, and we start to get some flooding concerns if we keep it up. And as you saw, we are exceeded the landhold threshold there for SeaTac Washington, for example, here. So there's always a give and take with this heavy precipitation when we get it. Sometimes we need it, but if it comes too fast and heavy there, it can be a problem. And anyway, yeah, I'd like to wrap it up here again with that water spout on the Oregon coast, Gold Beach, Oregon there. And of course, want to give thanks to Jose Delanoy there and Holden LaCroix for letting me use this footage. What a scene there on the Oregon coast. Very beautiful. But anyway, yeah, hope you guys are having a good day. We're going to do this again tomorrow, break down the system, try to get some model agreement on what is coming on in through the weekend and early next week, as we're probably going to remain active. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. I will talk to you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you then.